The Stations of the Cross is probably one of the most popular devotions during the season of Lent, and especially on Good Friday. So the Stations of the Cross is also called the Via Dolorosa, which in Latin means the way of sorrows. Another word that is used is Via Crucis, which means the way of the cross. And that's another really popular way of referring to the Stations of the Cross is the actual way of the cross, because the Stations of the Cross is the path that Jesus took from being sentenced to death to his crucifixion, to his death, and then being laid in the tomb. And you can see the 14 stations laid out here at the bottom. We're actually going to go through them really briefly with this map. This is a map of Jerusalem. And this practice of going through the stations, the stations being instituted into the actual church buildings, is because people weren't able to go on pilgrimages to Jerusalem, to the Holy Land. And a pilgrimage is a trip in which that people take for a spiritual purpose, a spiritual journey, a renewal of prayer. And it was very popular during the Middle Ages, especially during the Crusades, for Catholics to travel to Jerusalem to walk the path of Jesus, the passion and death of Christ, to witness what he would have witnessed, the places where he was actually living and walking. And we do that again today to remember the sacrifice that Jesus made for us and the gift that his death and his resurrection has for us during Easter. So here's a map, or at least a zoomed-in map of Jerusalem. This is where the temple is, or the Temple Mount is today, or the temple would have been when Jesus was alive. This is a road that's actually called the Via Dolorosa, the way of sorrows, and this is the path that Christians walk today, even on pilgrimages, going through the stations or going through the way of the cross. So it starts here. This is the first station where Jesus was condemned to death by Pontius Pilate, and this was his house, or his praetorium. And this is after his sentencing. He was taking up his cross, and this second station will be right here. The third station, following the first time, is here around the corner of the Via Dolorosa. The fourth station, where he meets his mother Mary, here. The fifth station, where Simon of Cyrene helps take up the cross and carry the cross with Jesus, is right here. The sixth station, where Jesus' face is wiped by Veronica, would be here. The seventh station, where Jesus falls the second time, is marked here. The eighth station, where Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem, is marked here. And the ninth station, where Jesus falls for the first time, is actually here in this little side road. And it all ends in this church, inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And this is actually where Golgotha would be. And Golgotha in the Bible is where Jesus was crucified. So if you're traveling this path, the Stations of the Cross or the way of the cross, this is the path that you're taking. And since we can't actually do that today, most of us probably won't go to Jerusalem in our lifetime, we're able to celebrate the Stations of the Cross or walk with Christ along his path in our churches, or even in our homes, or even in an app. We're able to experience the crucifixion in a new way, to be there with him in his cross, and his death for us in Jerusalem.